Greetings, family, and welcome to the H20 Network. I am finally on the air with Joy, Granddaughter Crow, Gray. Good God, man. It's taken me years, to get her on the H20 Network. But, I always say that things work very synchronistically. Tonight is a new moon in Scorpio. We are literally in, I don't even know what to call it, but we're in the middle of chaos. And I know if you're watching this video and people who work with Joy and people all over the globe are working on themselves, trying to find out where they stand. And I had to bring my sister on to give some of her medicine, her crow medicine. There have been many times in my life where Joy has reached out to me spiritually. We've gotten together physically, and she has given me much, much medicine. She has so many degrees, you can't even count them. And she has a doctorate in leadership. She's a shaman. She's an empath, born an empath. She's from the Lakota Nation. And I'm just proud to have her a part of my life, and I want to share her with everyone else like I've been trying to do for the past 3 years. But this is destiny. It was meant to be this way. Welcome to the H20 Network, Joy, Granddaughter Crow, Gray. I'm so happy to have you, finally.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I am so honored to be here. And yes, you are right. It is time. It is time. And now more than ever, we need words of wisdom. We need people stepping up. We need the voice. We need to hear the medicine. And I am so honored to be here. Finally, I am just, yay. I know we're going through a lot of chaos, but my name is Joy and I'm all, yay. I'm excited. I'm excited too because, you always come right on time. My sisters out there, Barbara Moreau, you, School Your Fast Horse. I mean, there are so many of my sisters who are just standing in their power and really feeding medicine to the people. And it always comes right on time. And tonight I know that you, when I asked you what you wanted to talk about, it made me chuckle because everybody wants this instant gratification. It's not going to happen. And you're going to talk about all of the things that we're going through with our mental bodies, spiritual bodies, all of these things that are connected, and also the idea of ascension and not waiting for the great pumpkin to show up at your door. When you said that just made me crack up. Because this medicine, as we talked about before, a couple of days before we got on air, you have to earn this medicine. We're all earning medicine right now from, the universe, from spirit, from creator. And it's just very profound. It's like these many different layers that we haven't really dealt with as a collective and as individuals. So like the Tower card is coming down on everybody in every which way possible, but it's to bring new things into this reality. Yes. So we need your medicine, Granddaughter Crow. Talk about your first question that you presented to me, the spiritual body, the mental body, and all of what is going on with everyone, what is happening. Yes. So a lot of times what I have seen, what I have witnessed, what I've experienced is that we are separate. Sometimes we feel very, very lost in the world. There are many, many people who come to me saying, I don't know where my path is. I feel lost in this world. And I start sitting with them and I do a lot of mentoring. And the only way that I can do this is because I had to go through this and continue to go through this myself, which is what I mean by earning the medicine that you carry. Medicine, aka wisdom. So basically, the idea is that a lot of times we move forward in the world without recognizing the four bodies of existence. Bodies of existence are the physical body, this right here. The second body is the emotional body. The third body is the mental body. And then the fourth body is the spiritual body. And so what I've found is through life, a lot of times our physical body will be in one place and our emotional body will be in another place and our mental body will be, I don't know, at the store, shopping or whatever, what's on the list for groceries or somewhere else, we go there. And then our spiritual body is like on the back burner because we're like, there's so much stuff going on. And so when you feel lost, could it be that it's because you are in several different places at one time without focus and not knowing which direction you're going? And so somebody once asked me, Granddaughter Crow, first, where the heck did that name come from? So I'll just clear that up. My grandfather, I am born to the Bilagana clan for the Tachini clan, a member of the Navajo Nation as well as Dutch heritage. My grandfather danced with the ravens and the crows, and he was a singer. And in the Navajo way, a singer is a medicine person. They learn songs over their lifetime. And so he was a singer, and he learned his medicine through the ravens and the crows. They're the ones that taught him how to do this. And I learned my medicine through not only life and the initiations, which we'll be talking about a little bit, but I earned my medicine and learned from him in journeying to the underworld because my grandfather passed many, many years ago. And he gave me his crow raven medicine. So hence I am Granddaughter Crow. And I just want to put a call out to the spirit of Grandfather Crow. Blessings, blessings, blessings. He is amazing. So nevertheless, somebody said, okay, Granddaughter Crow, where does your name come from? So we cleared that up. And then they said, what are you talking about on your path? Now, this is a very basic question. What do you mean by on your path? But a lot of times I find that individuals are growing up so quickly. Spiritually, we are launching, we are rocket shipping, we're awakening so very fast that a lot of these terms and foundations, we just kind of skip past and we use a terminology, but we don't necessarily compute what we're talking about. And so I said, okay, on your path, what does that mean? For me, it means that my physical body is moving in one direction and it says yes. And my emotional body is moving in the same direction and it says yes. And my mental body is moving in the same direction and it says yes. And then my spiritual body is moving in that same direction. And all of these bodies say yes and they move forward. And the sensation around that is much like falling in love. So when you fall in love with someone or something, your physical body wants to be around this individual or around this thing. Your emotional body is like, yes, I want to be around this person. I want to know what they're thinking, what they're feeling, and all of this. Your mental body is thinking about them all the time. What are they thinking? Do they know how I think about them? And all of this. It's all moving in that same direction. And their spiritual body is like, yay, I'm in love, and it gives that whole vibration and they glow. And so being on the path is much like falling in love. And so it's like when all the bodies of existence are moving in the same direction. Now, I wish I could say that every morning I awaken and all of my bodies are moving in the same direction, but that's not necessarily so, it's not something that you can just go, okay, I'm going to move in the same direction and you just do it. It's something that you got to put into practice. And so when you awake in the morning, your physical body is there, connect with it. Where is your emotional body? Give it a voice. Listen to the emotions. Give your mental body a voice. Give your spiritual body a voice. See where they're going, and then get them to start harmonizing and moving in the same direction. And there may be a little bit of internal arguments, debates about where you should go and what you should do and this and that, and that's fine. But at least give them a voice, because when we talk about, a lot of times we talk about, oh, my emotions are like this, and we almost disregard them in a lot of ways. And to me, that's very harmful, because that's basically in this, looking at this layout, that's a quarter of yourself, right? And what you're experiencing. So it's like, listen to each of them. And when we start thinking that they are actual bodies of existence, not just my emotions, oh, that's my mental, spiritual, whatever. It's like when you give them a body, you start recognizing that they need food. You start recognizing that they need exercise. And you can give them an age. So my biological, physical body is X number of years, right, in this dimension. My emotional body, I don't know, sometimes it's 12 years old, sometimes it's 50 years old, touch base, see what food does my emotional body need to hear? Does it need to hear I love yous? Does it need to hear I love me's? Does it need to hear that I'm accepted by the divine? Does it need to hear that everything is going to be okay? How old is it right now? How old is your emotional body right now? Not yesterday, not tomorrow, not in 10 minutes when people show up and you've got to be mature. How old is your emotions right now? And talk with them at that age. And then you go into your mental body. Okay, what does it need? Do I need to get more affirmations, positive affirmations about looking for things that the mini miracles in the day. Sometimes I wake up and I'm like, okay, I'm on a mini miracle treasure hunt. I'm going to find as many mini miracles as I can. And when you go through a day like that, especially a difficult day, it kind of gives that little, that I don't know, that freshness to the day, and you start hunting for mini miracles, and it's really good, but it kind of gets your mind in that upper level, right? And that upper vibe. And then you pay attention to your spirit. What does it want? Does it want peace right now? Does it want connection right now? Does it need solidification right now? And you exercise them. You give them a voice. You exercise them. You feed them. And it's kind of fun to give them an age, because then you can relate to each one of them where they're at. Because unlike the physical body, which I can't go back in time and reclaim the last 5 years, but emotionally, I can work with that inner child. I can talk to my 17-year-old self. I could talk to my 4-year-old self. I could talk to my 36-year-old self. I can talk to my 90-year-old self, right? My mental body is the same way. And so is my spiritual body. So when we start recognizing all of these as a body of existence, and then start moving them in agreement, slowly but surely, moving them in an agreement, then we start being on our path, so to speak. One quick note. The best way for me to explain this is many years ago, I was fractured. I felt compartmentalized. I felt thin. And my older brother came to see me, and I looked at him. His name is DJ. And I said, DJ, I feel fractured. I feel compartmentalized. I feel really thin, and I'm shaky, and I'm about ready to cry, and I don't even know why anymore. And he's like, Joy, do you know about a Stradivarius? Have you ever heard about a Stradivarius? And I'm like, a Strata what? And he's like, a Stradivarius. And I'm like, what is that? He says, oh, it's an instrument. It's a violin. In fact, it is probably one of the world's most expensive instruments because it cannot be replicated. It is unique. It cannot be duplicated. And I'm like, okay, great, DJ. Thanks for changing the subject, right? What about me? I'm fractured, And he's like, no, listen, what if a Stradivarius body was in one place and their strings were in another place and their bow was in another place, and those little knobby things, I'm not a violin player, let alone a Stradivarius player, and those little knobby things were in another place. What kind of music would it play? And the answer is none. I mean, if any, if it did, it just is a clunk or whatnot. He said, Joy, what would it be like if the Stradivarius came together? And then he said to me, Joy, you are Stradivarius. You are Stradivarius. You cannot be replicated. You are unique. You are authentic. What would your life sound like? What kind of music would you play if you put yourself together and completely showed up everywhere that you go? And that is what I'm talking about. And I'm here to tell you, you are a Stradivarius. You are a unique expression of the divine itself, experiencing this life and this experience from a positioning that is authentic, just like everybody else. What would it be like if we were to put ourselves together, our physical, our emotional, our mental, and our spiritual, and move forward with a yes? I don't know what that world would be like, but I think it's coming. And I think that this is part of the Ascension.
That's really deep, Joy. I'm listening to what you're saying, and I'm taking it all in. And, they always say you are your best science experiment. And when I tell you, when you talked about things aligning from the mental and your body being here, your mental being here, your emotional being here, and how when that's all in synchronicity, that it's a knowing, it's a deep knowing. And I'm saying this because over the past 12 months, I have done so much growth that is so sudden and drastic because of the non-alignment in my reality. And I did not realize it until I got rid of the blockage in my life, a major blockage. Gave up tons of energy, time, all kinds of things. As soon as I got rid of it, I ended up getting certain gifts that were bestowed to me on what I should be doing. I began to create. And when I say as soon as that person was out of my reality, it's like my art came out of nowhere. I'm like, oh my God, I was creating like crazy. It was like I had been liberated. And at the time, because of other factors, I didn't really catch that. But now that you're saying that, it was like my spirit was like, whoo, finally, we got rid of the blockage. Now we can begin to get down to business. I have been in deep meditation and done things that I was not able to do when this blockage was in my life. I literally was able to step into I've always been a shaman, but to actually step in it and to do it. I'm going to Miami this week to do spiritual things. Like all of these things that my spirit needed and wanted to do, I was not able to do because of a blockage. And as soon as it was done, Spirit's like, okay, we'll take care of whatever needs to be healed. Just align yourself up, have faith, don't believe what one sees. Just keep moving and keep aligning. So I have a deep understanding and knowing of what you're saying is so on point, because I'm experiencing that and have been experiencing that. And it's wild. I can't the initiation is just very deep and profound.
Yes. Yeah, you got it, sister. This energy is energy. All is energy. Einstein says that. That's not philosophy. That's physics. It's science. And when you look at the energy of all of these bodies moving in different directions, it's draining, and none of them can fully express themselves, just like the Stradivarius can't play any music unless it's combined. And it takes more energy to be lost than it does to be in the yes mode and moving forward. But the problem is that this little thing called fear steps in.
Yes.
And this little thing called fear says, oh, it's going to change. My life is going to change. I think I'm lost now. Oh my God, I'm going to be really lost. I wasn't allowed to have a voice. Now, I was raised back in the day when children were to be seen and not heard. There's a lot of society that puts it on race, creed, all a color, different sex and everything. It's basically where we're supposed to be silent. We're supposed to be silent. And you know what that means? It's not just physically. It's like our supposed to be like this in this world, and our minds are not supposed to dream anymore, and our spirit isn't supposed to speak. And so there was so much oppression of silence within society. And so I am here to say, give us a voice. All of us, all of you has a voice. Now, some of the emotions that may come up may be that 3-year-old child, but that 3-year-old child still deserves a voice. And it's like, move through this, and then we get to move forward. So we get afraid, but I'm here to tell you, there's no reason to be afraid. Once you flip it up, you might be looking for your soul purpose somewhere out there, and you don't realize it's right here. You may be looking for your soul purposes. Oh my God, am I supposed to do this? Am I supposed to do that? I got it. Maybe your soul purpose is just to combine yourself and be happy and then live each day. And all of a sudden at the end of the road, you're going to turn around and see how many people you impacted, what you did. I can tell you that the times in my life that I thought, oh, I'm on stage, I've got this great impact to make, really didn't make that much impact. And those times in my life that I was just walking down the street and talked and ran into a stranger, and then I found out that that stranger took something that I had said that solidified and made a big change. We never know when it is going to happen. We're just supposed to be happy, combine ourselves, get into that deep meditation you're talking about. Give yourself a shot. Give yourself a chance, not just for you, but I will say it again. You, we are a divine. We are the divine, an expression of the divine. One particle of the divine, living an authentic vibration. If you are not here, no one can replace you. You cannot be replicated. You cannot be duplicated. It's supposed to be us together moving like this. So I get all excited. I'm all getting chills. I get all excited because I'm here to encourage and to inspire the individual person, everyone, to stand up and rise. And it's funny because it is on a new moon, and right now is Samhain and Halloween, and they have Snoopy's performance of, Linus is sitting there and in the pumpkin patch waiting for the great pumpkin to rise out of the field. And it's like, I sit here and even in me, they're talking about, oh, this Ascension, and I'm like thinking that something's going to happen, like I'm going to float up or something, and, or I'm going to be driving down the street and see people hovering or something. I don't know. And then people talk about like, oh, the rise of the feminine divine. And I think that like this goddess female is going to come out of the earth, is going to separate. This goddess female is going to come up and save us, and hail the goddess female. And then I realized, maybe. I'll go ahead and leave it open. Maybe the great pumpkin will rise out of the pumpkin patch. But here, you know what? This is the pumpkin patch right here. This is the pumpkin patch. This Ascension is right here. It is right here. And the only way that you can do it is if you are combined. That's the only way you're going to perfectly be able to experience what it feels like. So many people talk about the Ascension and we're all waiting for it. Don't wait. Be it. Don't wait. Be it. So what does that mean? Well, I don't know what it looks like exactly in your life. I'm still trying to figure out what it looks like in my life. But I can tell you, every day, put it into action. What does the ascended Granddaughter Crow sound like? What does she say? What does the ascended Granddaughter Crow do today? Right? That's the whole thing. What does the ascended you do today? What do you listen to today? What do you say today? Be it. Because collectively, that's where it comes. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm feeling. What do you think?
No, you're on point. There is no great. We are the great pumpkin. There is no outside force, and that's what makes this time so profound. And I think that I said this last year and the year before with my water sister, Astro Risha Moon, we sat on air and we talked about the astrology and the cosmic doors that will be opening in the cosmos, that will be pouring energy down for things to come up to be seen. And it's heavy, because you have to realize and look at certain truths of reality that you have encapsulated within your being and signed the contract on that may not be true. Things that we have projected out into the universe. And, the mass media is wonderful at doing this, at keeping people encapsulated in fear. All of it is breaking down, and now the pot is beginning to boil over. And we say one thing and we want one thing, but it has to align up. What one is speaking, one has to live. And to have those two dualities come together is very fierce, because then that means you have to reverse all of those contracts that you've accepted about yourself. I'm not worthy. My gift is not good. I shouldn't speak out. I shouldn't be myself. I shouldn't be unique. I shouldn't speak the truth of my truth. I shouldn't help others. You know what I'm saying? So many shoulda, woulda, couldas.
Yep.
Now we're being forced. The universe is like, no, people, I'm going to send you a mirror and show you an aspect of yourself. And that is a very hard truth to deal with. You have to, I'm telling you, people have been analyzing this from up and down, and that's where we need to be, so we can take certain steps moving forward. And it's about integration. How does one integrate, Joy? I mean, because let me tell you something. Let's just keep it real still. One day, all is wonderful. Yes, I'm moving forward, and that energy is bubbling. And then the next day you wake up and you feel like the devil's legion has just walked through the door and has you captive around your neck, and you're fighting for your life. And when I say fighting for your life, your emotional imbalance is like you go, and being an empath, you understand, you go outside and you feel all this energy that the collective is putting out there. And it's really heavy. It's very dark. It's hard to explain. And I know I'm not the only one going through this. We've talked about it. How do you integrate under such spiritual pressure? The dream time as well has been real funky free, honey. And I've seen things in the dream time in the past 12 months that I would never repeat publicly, because it is so dark. And I'm like, wow, what is this energy? I'm telling you, this energy is very heavy. So how does one integrate while we're dealing with all of these other things?
Yeah, that's an excellent question. And I'd have to say it's a practice. So I kind of want to address a couple of things that you said. Absolutely. This woulda, shoulda, coulda are bars to imprison the self. Wouldas, shouldas, shame, and blame incarcerate ourself. When we are in shame, when we are in blame, even into the smallest little aspects of us, we are literally in this little prison inside of ourselves, feeling as though we don't have the right. Everybody else does, but I don't. And the keys are here and the doors are open, but some people are sitting there polishing the bars. They don't want to come out because they're institutionalized. They're institutionalized inside of themselves. And that's what spirit is doing. It's nudging us. It's like, no, don't get me out there. What if I can't? It's like, but what if you can? What if you can? And so I think that a lot of stuff that's coming up, it's the stirring of the pot, and all of a sudden an old shoe comes up. You're like, what? I thought I was making soup here. What's this old shoe doing? And you got to throw it out. It's like, don't beat yourself up for the old shoe that comes up. There is a reason for all of that. And this is where I want to kind of get into talking about we earn the medicine that we carry. So from my lenses, from the way that I look at things, the reason why I am kind is because people have been mean to me and it hurt me, and I don't want to repeat that. The reason why I am so engaging is because I have been ostracized. The reason why I am so forgiving is because I have been damned. by people, by situations. The reason why I'm out there doing this is because I know what it feels like to be on the other side. And so when I say that I am a medicine woman, when people call me this, it's not because I was born. Yes, I was born to medicine people, to spiritual leaders. I was born to, all of this stuff, which is a gift. But the interesting thing is it was through a life of initiation that I earned the wisdom that I have. I know how it feels to have my heart broken. I know how it feels to wrong someone and be really sad about it. I know how it feels to, oops, I shouldn't have done that. I know how all of that feels. And so a lot of times these things that we want to put under the rug, our life, the parts of our life that we want to put under the rug, that we don't want to talk about, that we're afraid of or we're ashamed of, those are what I see as initiations. Those are the fun houses of hell that we're trying to get in and out of. Those are those things. And once we can figure our way out and we collect the wisdom from whatever that story was, that energy was that we were in, and we can get ourselves out of there, you got yourself a key, and you hold that wisdom, that medicine in your arraic field, not only for you, but you hold it there for the collective. You hold it there for the collective. So people come up to me and say, I feel like I can tell you this. I feel like you'll understand. And I inside know, heck yeah, I understand that, but they don't need to know why I understand. They just feel that I do. And that's because I went through numerous initiations in this life. Initiations meaning all your buttons getting pushed, going to hell and back, feeling all of this, what you were just talking about. You feel like you're fighting for your soul. You feel like you're fighting for all of this. If you can get through that maze, through that energy, and figure out how to ascend out of that, you'll never have to talk about it. I'm not saying you got to write a book. You will literally hold that wisdom, those keys, that medicine in your arraic field. And then when you come into the arraic field of somebody else that's kind of trying to get out of that same hell, their arraic field will be reminded by your wisdom that you're just carrying how to do it. So a lot of times I'll just come around and people will just work through their own problems and they'll say thank you. And I'm like, you're welcome, but they did it. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. It's just that I'm holding the keys to getting out of those insanities, those darknesses, those depressions, those incarcerated selves. Yeah, there's a lot of things in my life that I used to be ashamed of. And then all of a sudden I'm like, why am I doing that? Why am I doing that? I wouldn't do that to my own best friend. And you start getting yourself out of these situations, and that's the initiation of earning your medicine and getting your, medicine and being that medicine person. So I like to think that I create medicine people wherever I go, because all I do is I say, oh, tell me your worst thing. What are you afraid of? What are you ashamed of? Oh, do you see how much wisdom you gained? You rock. And then they're like, oh my God. And they feel liberated out of that incarcerated self. So I think that as we're integrating these bodies, there are going to be those old shoes that come up, those times when we're like, oh, that was all my fault. Quit thinking about whose fault it was. Quit trying to find something or someone to blame or anything, and just look at it, feel it, and figure out how to get your emotional body, your mental body, and your spiritual body out of there, and you'll hold the keys to getting out of hell. That's what I say.
You know what I find interesting, Joy? You talk about initiation. I find that this year as well that we're getting a lot of medicine from the four corners, the four elements. And what I mean by that is that people who have an alchemical principle of being a fire energy are now being like earth signs. They're completely morphing and changing their energy because they have to be grounded. They have to be strategic in nature. Water signs are now becoming like these fire signs, and they're igniting the fire within them, and they're standing up for themselves. They're using a different alchemy. Do you find that with the people that you're coming in contact with, and also yourself, and also with fire? Fire, we're out there. You know me. I'm like, hey, how you doing? This year, I have been the bat for real. I have been in the cave. I have been stealth mode, and for me to get on air, your spirit's like, okay, it's time to come out of the cave now. You got to start doing some things and doing so. And I'm like, oh man, I'm like in a different type of alchemical principle. It's fire, but it's not. It's very different. Do you find that as well this year?
Oh, I love how you are saying that. And absolutely I do. I just love the way that you're articulating it. So what I would say is, to the Navajo Nation, we don't see the word psyche, right? The word psyche, and I'm going to take us back a little bit. So go ahead and relax for a second, right? So the word psyche, in English speaking language, I have a psyche, you have a psyche, he has a psyche, she has a psyche, her psyche is out of balance, so she sees a psychologist, a psychic, as, psychotherapist, that we have all of these separateness. Well, to the Navajo, we don't have individual psyches. We actually live in a psyche, and the psyche is the air that we're breathing. And if you look like through the etymology of the word psyche, and you could take it back to Latin, and it means breath and all of these things, it's beautiful. So if you start thinking that we're fish swimming in an ocean of psyche, of collective psyche, it kind of shifts the world view of how we're seeing things. And in this psyche, we're beginning to recognize that separateness does not exist. It cannot exist. It only exists in our mind, and we need to release that. And so in that, we begin to embody not only the fire, like I'm very liquid. I'm liquid in fire, right? I'm a water sign. I have a Leo moon. I'm a Cancer. I'm Scorpio rising. So I've got a lot of water and fire. But the interesting thing is I've been grounded. Some people come up to me, oh my God, it's so much fun. They look at me and they're like, you are so grounded. And I just laugh and laugh. I'm like, I'm grounded? Holy shit. If I'm grounded, sorry. But I'm like, if you think I'm grounded, oh my God, where are you? But the truth is that I have been grounding and centering more. I have been doing more of that earth stuff. And I think it's because, if you look at manifestation, spirit come manifest, moves through all of the four bodies of existence. My spirit, in order to become manifest, must go through my mental and my emotional in order to come physical manifest. If I do work in the underworld shamanistically and it is in the spirit realm, it needs to go through the mental realm, it needs to come through the emotional body, and it needs to come manifest. So I believe that in 2017, we are looking at spirit direct manifest, meaning it used to take so much time. And now we are shedding and relieving ourselves of these old belief systems of who I am and who you are, and that we are separate. We're relieving ourselves of these old belief systems of, I'm ashamed of this, I blame you for that, whatever. It's like these are being stripped away. And because I believe that spirit wants to come straight through. And that's why I think I'm talking about these four bodies of existence and aligning them, because spirit come manifest now. And in order for spirit to come manifest, let's go ahead and put the elements on it. My physical body is earth. My emotional body is water. My mental body is air, and my spiritual body is fire. In order for it to come manifest, I have to relieve myself of all the blocks within the elements that I wasn't necessarily used to. I need to be able to know how to work with them, because I'm telling you, 2017 instant manifestation, people, And you want to make sure that your heart is manifesting the same thing that your mind is manifesting, that your spirit is manifesting. Otherwise, your mind is praying to win the lotto, and your heart has a block saying, no, I don't deserve it. I'm not worthy. So you're manifesting it and pushing it away, and manifesting it and pushing it away, and manifesting it and pushing it away. It's like, let's relieve those blocks. Spirit, come manifest, which gives us more responsibility, but we have to be able to play in all of these fields of different elements that we might not necessarily be akin to. So yeah, I think we're in the learning field, and I think that what it's doing is I'm investigating the earth sign a little bit more, even though I don't have earth in my chart, in my astrological chart, so that I can understand what does it look like manifest. So it's, and take it a step deeper. That's what I'm seeing. That's what I'm feeling. People are connecting with each other, realizing there is no separateness, taking the fire, moving it through the air, the water, and manifesting it now. Spirit is going to start doing that. And in order for us to be able to contain that type of energy, we need to have this quick flow through. And I want to say, my father says, we talk so intelligently about all of our confusions. But when you ask somebody, what do they know? Do you know what you know? At the end of the day, all of these bodies become silent and start moving energetically in the same direction and breathing. That's a really good way to do it, is kind of just let them all breathe through you. And just say, I love all of my existences, and harmonize them. And then to be very basic and grounded, how do you do this? It's kind of funny. You drum. The drum has a certain rhythm. And this rhythm has been here since man has been on earth. And you know why I know that? Because it's our heart.
It's the heartbeat of the people.
It's that beat of our heart. It is. And sometimes my mind is at this vibration and my emotions are over here, another rhythm, my spirit's over here, my physical body is asleep. If you start drumming, they start all bouncing in the same rhythm, and you get to release. They align. So that's another answer. So you could take A, that big old answer I just gave, or you could take B, drum. Just drum, sister. Just drum. It's that simple.
And I have done that. And let me tell you, it just, when you drum, it is the heartbeat of the people, whether it's traditional red people, African, the Lukumi, the Irish. I'm telling you, the ancients, it doesn't matter what part of the world they came from, they understood the synchronicity of sound, and they understood the frequency that you needed to listen to in order to bring everything in motion. And it's funny that you say that, sis, because the letter of the year with my elders, one of the therapies is music.
Oh, yeah.
It's music. It's the essence of sound. So family, go back and listen to that broadcast, but it is the frequency of sound, so we can literally harmonize and bring all of these things together so we can be more balanced. We can, I don't even want to say go on our path, because even if you don't think that you're not on your path, you're on your path. You're on your path, whether you think so in a human form or not. Those mistakes, those things, that's a part of your path. It's the lesson. It's the teaching. And I always have to remind myself that, because then I get caught up in my human aspect of myself, because we are in this flesh suit. I have to remind myself, Radia, this is what it is. This is a part of the lesson, and pay attention so you don't have to go back on the gerbil wheel and learn the same lesson with a different face, different situation, but it's the same type of energy. I'm not trying to repeat any of those things. I think 3 times is enough.
Three's a charm.
3's a charm, baby. I'm done with all of that. What else do you have to tell the people?
Mm-hmm.
There's so much going on. I don't want to say what do you foresee for the year coming up, but I just feel like a lot of expansive, wonderful things are coming our
Mm-hmm.
way in
Mm-hmm.
2017. There's like this duality of dying and growth happening at the same time, fighting and calm. It's
Yes.
like a crazy duality this year. What do you feel for the
Yes.
energies that's coming up your Joy?
What I would say is in the latter part of this year, we are embarking on a lot of change, not only in the political system, but throughout our individual recognize that all is energy. There is a way to change energy that is here now. And it will unfold in your individual personalized story in a variety of different ways. But what I'm going to say is ground and center yourself, sweethearts. Ground and center yourself. Open your hands. Do not hold on. Don't hold on. And approach every day with curiosity. Don't predict that it's going to be too hard or what it's supposed to be like. Let it unfold, because there is a newness that is here now. And I'm not saying that it's comfortable. I know that it's not going to be comfortable, but that doesn't mean that it's not going to be healthy. So watch the way that the whole system in a macro level is changing. Watch the way in a micro level that you are changing, and give it permission, because it is a birth. It is a birth. And things that are supposed to fall away. And I'm sorry, there are some things that are comfort that are supposed to fall away. Not because they are comforting now, but because they used to be comforting and we're projecting that they still are. You got to look at your life in the now. Look at what things look like in the now, and let go of the old things, because they're not the food that we once ate is making us sick now. We have
Hmm.
to get different foods, right? We need to let go and go down this water slide and let it be fun. Be that person who makes it fun and go with it, because you know what? The universe is moving us collectively and individually in this shift. And like I said, there'll be transitions. I'm seeing a lot of transitions through the end of the year. It starts going into January 31st. Then we start kind of relieving ourselves in February. And I'm not sure astrologically what happens, but then one more little hit in March, and then April 1st, holy moly, hang on, spirit come manifest. So sharpen your mind, watch your thoughts. Thoughts are things. Look at the world through a new set of lenses called the now, through curiosity, through I am taken care of. Everything is the way that it is. There is a reason. I have meaning. I have a purpose. Collectively, I was, I, I'll go ahead and share it because he wants to step in. I speak with my grandfather, and he said to me that we're thinking too much. We're putting too much, projecting too much meaning on little things that's trapping us and sucking our energy away. Let things be what they are and know what you know in your heart. Don't respond just every single day to every little thing. Kind of take yourself up a little bit and recognize the bigger picture. Feel the peace and the love and the beauty that is around us. Recognize that you are here for changing. I believe that everybody that is ascending right now and waking up, and everybody that is listening to this, no matter where you're at or when you're hearing this, I believe that you are a forerunner. I believe that a lot of the vibration that you're feeling, you may feel a little bit alone because you're not thinking that other people are going to understand. We do understand. We're all going through it, honey, and we are forerunners. Quit looking outside of yourself for the model of what you're supposed to be, because we are creating the model of what is to come.
You are on point as always. We are going into what's the word that I'm looking for? I don't want to say epoch, or it's a new era. This is what we're going to. We're going into a new era right now, and it's hard for me to surrender. That I've been working on that for I don't know how long. So let go, flow like water. Let it be what it be, and let it do what it's going to do, because at the end of the day, we've all have had evidence that it always does what it does, and we're fine. The contracts, we talked about this last year. Contracts are done. We are getting rid of old contracts with people, places, and things, and our flesh may be like, no, you're fighting. But spirit-wise, Spirit's like, let it go. The contract is done. The contract is done. It's time to create a new era and to create new contracts with new people, places, and things. And you're on point with the last 3 months of this year. Well, man, what do I say last 3 months? Last 2 months? It's going to get very profound and deep, because there's going to be some more falling away. There's going to be a lot more people crossing over. The ancestors have been knocking on people's door. And literally, this year people have been dying like crazy. And people are like, oh, why? We understand why. People's contracts are leaving. They're becoming ancestors for a very specific reason. I mean, that's a whole nother show within itself, but it's going to get really deep for people. And I'm so glad that I was able to sit with you this evening and have, a conversation at the campfire.
Oh my goodness. I know. I love it. 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 And I just heard one more thing that I want to share before we go off the air. I guarantee you that at the end of your road, when you look back and you are in pure spirit form, you will look at your life and go, oh, I made it a little too hard for myself. I actually was always taken care of. I didn't even realize it, but now I see. I should have laughed a little bit more.
Wow. I always get confirmations when when I sit with you, I talk to you. Thank you so much. This is wonderful medicine. You, now that you've been initiated on the H20 Network, you have to come back. Yes, girl, you know what it is. Yay. I've been wanting to.
I will.
Yeah, you have to come back, very much so, because your medicine is very valuable. There are a lot of people who come in the H20 Network, and it's all valuable in nature. Excuse me. And we all need this medicine. It's very much important. I guess Spirit is telling me, well, I need to get out there and do my thing since I'm choking on myself. I'm like, hello, this ain't about me.
I love it.
Yeah, man. So
I love it. And, real quick, I want to say thank you, thank you, thank you. You do so much. And from the heart of the people, from the heart of Spirit, from my own heart, almost some tears. Thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for all that you do. Thank you for the wisdom and the medicine that you carry. Thank you for going through the last 2 years. Just thank you. You rock.
I love you, Mama.
Sister, you rock.
I love you. God, man. Well, family, there you have it. We have Granddaughter Crow. I'm so happy, y'all. She will have to come back very, very soon. And very, very soon, I'm going to have another sister, Barbara Moreau. Angel, who dances on wings, you know who that is. She will be on the H20 Network. We need this medicine right now. It's very, very much important. Thank you, Joy. Please, before you go, tell people where they can find you, because that's really important so people can stay connected with you.
Yes. Absolutely. So the easiest way to do it is just remember Granddaughter Crow. And if you Google Granddaughter Crow, you'll find a lot of stuff. You can reach me, www.granddaughtercrow.com. I do personal readings. I do mentor sessions. I do a lot of workshops and classes. I do Skype, phone readings, etc. You can follow me on Twitter, on Granddaughter Crow Twitter. You can follow me on YouTube, Granddaughter YouTube channel, Facebook. I always love it. It always makes me smile when I get another like, so please like me on Facebook. Otherwise, you can always call me directly, 720-220-2654. Text me at that number. One of my things is I am here for the people. I'm here for the people. I'm here for the people. So I try to stay as accessible as possible. So please contact me. Awesome.
Thank you, Ma. I love you.